Good morning. This is Bonnie Pegs. I'm so glad you've chosen to join me on my new YouTube channel. We're going to talk about a lot of things, and hopefully, some of those will bring blessings to your heart. Some will bring a tear to your eye, and hopefully, some will bring laughter into your day. I hope you've got a good cup of coffee and that you're sitting and maybe have a fluffy blanket that's around you on this first day of 2016. We are here in North Carolina, and the weather is unusually warm, and so we've had an incredible December. And last night we had the Ruby Drop, second annual Ruby Drop down in Franklin. So we are in a really great place. I am glad that so many of you are taking the moments to be with each other, to think of all the things that make your life better. It's always nice to start the day with a thought for the day, and I have some great books that I love to use. At work, I send out thoughts to start the week and thoughts for the weekend. And this one I thought was a really good one. It's called An Attitude of Gratitude. When we choose not to focus on what is missing from our lives, but are grateful for the abundance that's present, we experience heaven on earth. And that is from Sarah Brethnach. When you think about what that means and the gratitude that we have in our lives, or that we should have, and all the blessings that we are enriched with, and all of those things that help us be a better person. And I think most of us choose to be a better person. None of us get up and go, I'm going to make somebody's life miserable today. We think about all the things that we would like to do or like for people to share with us. And those things are really important. So when you come to a time and you believe that you're having a moment, you need to find something that can channel the goodness in you. And we all have that. I know that as I think back over my life, sometimes I used to believe that I was one of God's channels. Whenever he wanted to laugh, he would tune in to see what stupid thing I had done or what other thing I had stumbled into that didn't make anybody else but me go, oh my gosh. I know that I grew up in Tucson, and then we moved to a small community, a farming community just north of Tucson called Marana. It's kind of about 45 minutes north of Tucson. And I was a youth minister and associate pastor at a church on the far east side of Tucson. And we still would travel to Marana home. And I loved that church. Saguaro Christian Church was a great church, great people there. I was there when we did a new sanctuary building. I mean, it was just a fabulous, fabulous opportunity to be there. I was a youth minister there, and that's when I was still regional youth minister. I did both of those ministerial positions. And there was one night when we had been at youth group on Sunday evening. We always had youth group on Sunday evening. Now, I worked a lot, but the kids never really realized I worked a lot because they were with me most often. Obviously for youth group, because we had juniors, which was third, fourth, and fifth grade, and we had junior high, and then we had high school. And so no matter what their age was, there was always a time that they were with me. Again, I had a CB in the car because in Tucson, between Tucson and Marana and Phoenix, there really isn't much. Once you leave the town, it's desert. And it's I-10. It's a very big freeway. And so I went all the way across Tucson on Speedway, which is exactly what the name of the road is. It was one of those roads we used to cruise when I was in school. But we headed out, and I realized as I looked in the mirror that there was a car following me. Now, I was a young mom with 3 young kids. I was in my 30s. Again, younger, cuter, thinner, all those things. But it made me really nervous. And so I slowed down, and he would slow down. The car would slow down. I was just getting ready to get on I-10. And I-10 is a very big thoroughfare for truckers. And as I got on I-10, and I was only going about 50 because I kept thinking, this guy is going to go around me. Well, he didn't. If I slowed down, he slowed down. So I was getting really scared because, like I say, there is not much between Tucson and Marana. There is not filling stations. There was nothing. And so I got on the CB, and I did not have CB language or lingo, however you would say it, but I just got on and I said, please, if anybody out there, I'm a mother with 3 young children in the car, and there seems to be a car following me, and I'm not sure what to do. Well, this trucker came on the CB and he said, "Little lady," he said, "what mile marker are you at?" So I told him where I was at. And he said, "I want you to slow down to 45. Now, he didn't use quite that kind of language. He used trucker language, but I knew exactly what he meant. So I slowed down to 45. The car behind me slowed down to 45. I made sure he didn't get beside me, but he was behind me. So as I slowed down to 45, the trucker said, "Little lady, me and a couple of my friends are going to be there in just a minute. We're not too far behind you." So I waited and I kept looking in my rear view mirror because I thought, oh my gosh, this guy could run me off the road. This is awful. It was just terrible. So about that time, I saw 3 trucks coming up behind me. And the one trucker I'd been talking to, he said, "Little lady, my friends and I are here. And I want you to do exactly what I say and when I say it." And I said, "Okay, I'll do that." And he said, "Don't you worry. We're going to take care of you." And I was like, "Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you're here." Now, all 3 kids are asleep. I think that was a really good thing because I'm not sure how they would have been reacting at this point. So I was going about 50 at this point. He said, "I'm going to come up beside you. When I tell you to switch lanes," because I was in the right lane, he says, "when I tell you to switch lanes, you switch." And he said, "You have to trust me." And I went, "Yes, sir, I can do that." So he pulled right up beside me. One of the other trucks was right behind him. The 3rd truck was right behind the guy who was following me. So I am both hands, death grip on the wheel, death grip. And I look over at the kids, 2 are in the back seat, 1 was in the front, and they're all still asleep. And so I'm waiting for the trucker to tell me to move to the other lane. So I've got both hands on the wheel. I'm going about 40 at this point. And the trucker's talking to me. He kept calling me little lady. He was just the sweetest man. And he said, he says, "Are you ready?" And I said, "I am." And he was waiting for a time when there was no turnoff going to the right till there was just a stretch of road, the 2-lane road. So as I'm going, and he said, "Okay, when I say now, you pull over to the left lane." I said, "All right." He said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "I am ready." And so both hands gripped on the wheel. And he said, "Okay, little lady, 3, 2, 1, now." And I jerked the wheel to the left and I went over to the lane. And as I went over, he came over and was squeezing the car, and he came right in front of the car. The other truck came up right beside the car that was behind me, and the other truck was behind him. So they've basically got him in this box. And the trucker comes on the radio and he said, "Breaker, breaker, is there a smoky out there?" And a highway patrolman came on and said, "I'm here. What seems to be the problem?" And he said, "I have a car that's boxed in. He was following a little lady, and we've got him, and we're at mile marker, whatever." And sure enough, I saw this highway patrol coming the opposite way, going south on I-10. I was going north. And he whipped a U-ey and came up, and I heard him say to the trucker, "I'm here now. I'm going to pull him over." So the trucker came on and said, "Little lady, are you all right?" And I said, "Yes, sir." I said, "Thank you, and thank your friends so very much, because it was a scary moment. I appreciate your help so much." And I saw the red lights come on with the highway patrol officer. They pulled the car over, and I went on home. And now I think back and go, why didn't I get that trucker his name or his company name or something, so I could have written to the company and said, "Your trucker saved my life." But I didn't do that. So if you happen to be that trucker and you're listening, would you email me at bonnie.pegs@outlook.com? I'd love to hear from you. You really did save my life that night. And it was so nice that you and your friends came and helped me. Somebody you'd never knew, somebody you'd never met. It really made a difference. So when I read that little phrase about gratitude, it certainly says about who you were. I am so glad that you joined us. I hope that some of these moments either warm your heart or help you think of a time that you were grateful to someone, or a moment that made a difference in your life. I know that made a difference in my life, to know that there was people out there who didn't know me and probably would never ever see me again, but still took the time to make a difference for me and for my kids at that time. This is Bonnie Peg saying, I hope you join us again. If you think of a story that you shared with me or would like to share with people out there who are watching, please let me know. Email me and I'd be thrilled to talk with you. This is Bonnie Peg saying, have a blessed day.